Welcome back to another video, guys. My name is Ben from Flow Brackets, and today we've got in this beautiful C8 Corvette Z06, which is slightly different to the normal Stingray as we know it. And we're going to be showing you how to delete this OEM plinth because this is so oversized and ugly, it doesn't fit Australian number plates really well. So we're going to be replacing it with our miniature plinth. So let's first start off with what is the problem. So Chevrolet, they give you this huge mounting box. We call it an OEM plinth. It's for you to mount your number plate on. And as you can see, it's actually slightly curved. For most normal number plates, you could probably bend your plate to fit that contour. But in some cases, some specialty plates that people want to run, like signatures, they can't be bent. And that causes a bit of a problem. Especially when you go to the heritage plates as well, you just can't mount that on. Not to mention, it looks super ugly. So let's first get this off. It's made out of two parts. So the OEM plinth is one part that you need to remove, and that gets you access to the giant bracket that's holding on this OEM plinth. And once you remove these two pieces, you can actually reveal this beautiful grille. The first thing you're going to have to do is remove your number plate. If it's already screwed on, just undo the screws, take your number plate off. Then this gives you access to the 3 square holes. And inside these 3 square holes is going to be a bolt. Now, that bolt head just uses a 7mm socket. I'm sure in America, it's some imperial sizing, and I'm sure someone in the comments is going to tell us what that is. But for now, in Australia, we use the metric system, and you need a 7mm socket to undo this bolt. So once you remove this giant OEM plinth, just put it aside. The next thing you're gonna have to do is get this bracket off the grille. Now to get it off, you need to take off this cover and this cover. They're only clipped in, so I'm just gonna use my plastic pry tool and just push this back a little bit so we can pry this off. It's just held in by some snap fits. Put that aside for later because we'll be reinstalling that. And on this side, do the same. Push this in a little bit, jam in your pry tool, and pry it off. Just be careful that you don't break anything. Just put it aside the clips and just make sure that you know which one's left and right. After you do that, you can see that it reveals these 4 screws holding this bracket on and these 2 here. We're going to start off with the 2 on the left and then 2 on the right. To undo that screw, you're going to need a Torx bit, which this says it is a T15. And let's use our T15 Torx bit and take out 4 of these screws, 2 on the left and 2 on the right. And these are the screws that came out of those 4 holes. Put them aside for later because we will be reusing those. Once you remove those screws, just turn these 2 tabs clockwise. You don't need to undo this screw. This just turns like that and like that. Then grab our pry tool. And there's a little gap here in the top where you can stick your pry tool. It's just to release the snap fit. One there, and this little gap here. It's pretty much above the circular tab that we've rotated. There and there. So you need to stick your pry tool into there and push down, and that's going to release this off so you can take the bracket off. Now I'll just quickly show you behind this bracket. That tab that we rotated clockwise, if you rotate it counterclockwise, this is the fitting that holds it or clamps it to the grille. So that's what you're doing. Just make sure that it's this way so that you can release it from the grille. So now that we've taken completely everything off, you've got this nice, beautiful blank canvas to work with. And I honestly don't understand why they would have covered up in the first place. It's such a beautiful grille and it lets a lot more airflow in now. But before we get into installing, let me explain a bit more about the parts. We call this a 2-part mounting solution, only because you need 2 parts to mount this onto your car. Not to be confused with all the parts that we give you. So we do give you quite a few bits and pieces, which I will explain a little bit later. But what I mean by a 2-part mounting solution is we have this miniature plinth that we designed specifically for this car. So miniature plinths, this is specific to cars. And then The second part of the two-part mounting solution is a number plate bracket. Now you need to pick up a bracket that matches the style and size of your number plate to bolt onto this miniature plinth. It's a modular system, so if you ever change number plates, you can bolt off this number plate bracket, bolt on the right bracket that you need, and so forth and so forth, and that stops you from drilling into your car or your number plate. So these two parts, miniature plinth and number plate bracket, complete a two-part mounting solution. Now that I've got that out of the way, let me explain a little bit more about the miniature plinth and the parts it can get. This is the miniature plinth. It is a self-locating part that basically clamps onto the grille without drilling or the use of a jig or sticking. We also supply you with a spacer. I'll expand on that information a little bit better a little bit later when we're up to it, but basically this adds a little bit more thickness to your miniature plinth so that you can accommodate for larger size number plates. And we also give you a left and a right almost cap spacer. What this does is basically go back, sorry, this is a right. This basically goes back into these holes, and we're going to reuse the screws that came out of this hole in the first place to screw it on. And this is designed so that the cap, once clipped back in, puts it in tension so that it doesn't rattle. Not only that, if you didn't have this spacer, or if we didn't design this spacer, when we clip this back on, there's going to be a bit of a hole there, and we didn't like that. So we've given you this cap spacer, for the lack of a better word, right now. So I think the first thing we're going to do is finish off the left and the right caps and go from there. So we give you two parts. There's a left one for the left-hand side of the car if you're looking at the car, and a right one for the right-hand side of the car when you're looking at the car. So we'll grab the left one because it says left, and the arrow points up to tell you which way is up. And we just need to overlay this. There's a little knob here, which is a locator, and that goes into that hole there. So put that in first and align the two holes, and then send in the original screw that came out of this in the first place. And the bit that you need to install this is a T15 torque spool. Now, the way that this was designed was to give it a little bit more space. So when you clip on this cap, that it puts it into tension so that it doesn't keep rattling. But we've also designed it so that you still gain full access to the tow hook as well. So once you've installed that, we can put our cap back on. The cap looks like this for the left-hand side. The way that you need to clip this on, well, the easiest way I found is these bottom feet, hook them on first, and then slightly pull to the right or to the middle of the car so that this apex doesn't clip the corner and scratch it. So let's put that in, then pull to the right a little bit, avoid it, and then it'll sort of self-seat and clip in, and you're done. Okay, so now that we'll put our pretty face back together, they don't rattle and there's no more holes in each side, we can go ahead and install our miniature plinth. But we're just going to take some time to sort of appreciate this design that the design team has really put a lot of effort into. We were toying with this idea for quite a while, and I'm pretty sure you must have seen some of our social media posts about it, but let me explain more in detail. When we were designing this miniature plinth, we wanted a solution where you didn't have to drill the car, you didn't have to drill the number plate, and you didn't have to permanently double-sided tape a fitting to the car. We wanted something to be completely removable. So if you wanted to take your Z06 to the track, then you can. One other thing I might point out real quick is that this miniature plinth is also going to fit the E-ray as well. Okay, back to the plinth. It's got these really cool arms that keep flapping around, but it's designed there for a reason. The way it's designed is these arms go into the grille and fold in to the back. And then once you bolt it together, they clamp around the grille. The easiest way to sort of understand or explain this is think of it as a nut and bolt system. Because there's no hard surfaces here for us to screw from the front a miniature plinth to, you have to realistically use a bolt and nut to attach it on. But trying to fiddle with a bolt and a nut and try to hold the nut at the back would be physically impossible without taking off the bumper. So these arms almost act as, call it your third magical arm. So the way that it's going to work is grab your 2 feet, place them in, let it rest there for a little bit, fold it up, and then fold the arms in on itself, and then tighten the screws. So as I said previously, it's a self-locating part, and this miniature plinth, taken from a 3D scan or designed from a 3D scan, basically fits like a glove. Self-locating, it doesn't move. It's meant to fit exactly to each layer of this grille, and these arms are also designed to fit to the backside of this grille as well. And it's got a threaded brass insert into the back, so when you bolt it together and tighten it, it'll clamp on the grille. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so now that we've got our miniature plinth on, let's move on to the next step, which is number plate bracket. So let's quickly dive into that. So let's remember that this is a 2-part mounting solution, and that means that you can't buy the miniature plinth by itself. You have to buy it with a matching number plate bracket. And when I say matching number plate bracket, it is a bracket that matches the style and size of your number plate. So for example, if you had slimline plates in New South Wales that will use an SL1 bracket, and you bolt that on, and then your number plate can be bolted on to the bracket. And if you were ever change to a different number plate, then you'd buy the appropriate bracket to suit. In this case, this would be a signature plate bracket. You bolt that onto the miniature plinth, and then your plate can clip on in this case. If you were in New South Wales and you wanted to run a New South Wales traditional black 3-4 character, then you get that bracket and bolt it on. Again, with plates of this size, you might need to run a spacer to step it out a little bit further so that you can go up and then have a little bit more clearance, or mount it in the right position that you want it to. So the spacer works pretty simply. Just grab the spacer, it clips on, it sort of, oh, that's upside down, but it clips on like that. Then this allows you to reposition the number plate bracket anywhere you want, and it also clears the apex of this nose. But if you want it to sit a little bit closer and you do have a slimline plate, then you can take away the spacer and it'll be super clean like this. So now all that's left to do is mount our number plate bracket on. This customer is running signature slimline plates, so the appropriate bracket for this would be the S1. All we need to do is choose a slot location that we want to put our bracket onto. I think it looks a little bit better higher, so I might choose the middle slot and the bottom brass and screw in our 2 screws. Now we can grab our signature plate and clip it into our signature bracket system. It snap fits in, and then tighten the grub screw to expand it so no one can steal your number plate. And that's how you do a OEM plinth delete on a Z06 C8 Corvette. We think that it looks 100 times better than the giant oversized ugly box that's given to you by Chevrolet. And it's definitely the cleanest way to have floating number plates displayed on your vehicle. So I know that was a lot of information to take in, so I'll summarize a few key points for you. Not only is it the cleanest way to mount your number plates, it's completely invasive or non-invasive. Someone's going to correct me in the comments. That means that there is no drilling involved, either your number plate or the car, and we don't have to permanently affix or stick anything to the front bumper. So that means that it's removable as well. So if you are one of those people that want full airflow into this section, then you can remove it. It's also a modular fitting. And that means that if you ever decide to change number plates or upgrade to a different number plate, you can take off the number plate bracket that's on it and bolt on a new number plate bracket. And we sell a number plate bracket for almost every number plate in Australia. So if you need help identifying which number plate you have and which bracket that you need for it, reach out to us and we'll be happy to advise. Another thing, spacer. If you are running a larger size number plate or taller, it's probably best to put the spacer on first to space it out a little bit further. That means that you can position the number plate up or down depending on how you want to style your car. And lastly, this is a 2-part mounting solution. That means that you can't buy the miniature plinth on its own. You have to buy it with a matching number plate bracket to complete the two-part mounting solution. So number plate brackets are specific to number plates, style and size. Miniature plinths or delete kits are specific to the car make and model. So I hope you found this video useful, and thanks for watching.